Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US indices. We'll look at the S&P and the Nasdaq, and just on the 4-hour chart here we're looking at wave 3 here, then an A and a B and a C for wave 4 here, and then up for 1 and back for 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 up through to here. The problem with this though is that the wave 4 here really overlaps wave 1 here, which is a bit of a no-no in Elliott rules, but Elliott did develop his concept of stock and indexes which were not leveraged at the time, so we've got very high leverage now, so futures markets and so on, so and CFDs and options and so on, so they tend to get skewed a little bit, but still need to sort of take it on board. There are folks that have got this as wave 1 here and wave 2 here and wave 4 here, and that's kind of probably a better count, but we would need to see a very much extended third wave here. And the other thing about this little count here too that sort of bugs me somewhat is the Nasdaq, because the Nasdaq is the one that's leading higher, and when we look at the Nasdaq here, it's quite acceptable to have this as wave 1 here, ABC for wave 2 here. It's a nice fit, and then the long third wave, and the fourth wave here does not overlap wave 1 here, and then we've got wave 5 up here. So that's really where I got the count from, and to me that makes sense, but I like to be aware of all possible counts, so we need to take things on board. So yeah, at this stage we'll just stay where we are with this, and we'll leave this as wave 1 here and wave 2 here and this here, but we'll be mindful of other counts as well here. So really we're looking at this move up through here now to end, and as I've mentioned before too, is that it's very rarely that I see a market fail once it gets above the 23 here. I'd normally see it hit the 25, so if it's got support on 3, it gets to 5 here. So I'm still, like, on the trading levels concept, still thinking that the 2500 is a reality, which does make this count here right as wave 1 here, and so on. So we will be a little bit careful with all this. The other point here too is that with the 2400 here, we've got group 1 again as well, which is 10, 20 and 30 here, and we know if we do get a nice solid support on top of group 1, then we can also go up to the 5 here, and this is pretty much our aim here. So now we're looking at being long. We've had this extra little move here down into the 38.2% retracement level. This one was just above it, this one is just below it, so it's fine. So we can really use this now. So a new break across here, if that occurs, then we can go long up to the 50. If this one here, in a nutshell here, is breached, that was the 24, 25 that we're looking at yesterday. If that's breached, then we can go short from that point, because that means that this leg up here is actually completed at that stage. So anyway, let's just go in and have a little bit of a look at this, starting on the hourly chart here. So we'll just leave this 1 and 2 here at the time being, but we'll also be just mainly sort of focused on wave 4 here to wave 5 and the 5 waves within that. And with that in mind, we've got wave 1 and 2 here, and we're looking for wave 3 here, which we've got wave 4 here, and then we're looking for wave 5 up here in 5 waves. So we're looking need to go to, well, the other point here now is that we can just take this, copy this here and pop that on top there. We may be able to get a better entry on all of that. But like I said, I really, this is a long trade setup for me, because it's sitting on top of group 1, it's tested lower, making a little new high here, which we use as the reference point. We'll look for a little ABC correction in here, which we'll look at a bit of detail, and then we can look to the onside up here, and that would be our target, the 24.50 there. So quite a nice trade once it gets set up. And now we'll just go to the 15-minute chart here and look at this in a bit more detail. So I was looking at this here, as you know, as wave 1 here and wave 2 here, then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for here. I always knew that this was a corrective pattern. My thing was that I could see in this little first move down here that it was actually a corrective pattern. So whatever came out of the gates as a correction here, that it would be corrective at this point. So yeah, we'll look at taking that there. So I'm just going to go to the tick chart now, and just to drill into this a little bit further, because I've just got a little bit more work in there. Now I have changed. I've put wave 4 here. We had that on the short side from speaking yesterday. If this became the retested resistance, well then we would be going short from there. It's not. It hasn't become the resistance. So what we could do now with this whoops, that's not the one. Let me just. I'm just going to change this color now to green, because this is where we want to short here. Okay, so if that's breached at this point, then we go short. But and that's possible because on the cash we do have a possible top in here. So this could be counted. I mean, this is the one that made it corrective here. We looked at this on 5 ticks and it was quite clear that it was corrective. But hey, it's not a perfect world. So it could be down for 1 here, back for 2 here, down for 3 here, an A and a B and a C for wave 4 here, and then down for wave 5 here. But this doesn't make sense either for wave 5. But it's possible. We need a plan. We need a plan B. We don't want to miss anything. That's the main point. We don't want to get stuck and fixed on something. The markets are not like that. They'll just churn you up. So the good news here is that the little move up through here appears to be in 5 waves. Okay, so it's possible that this could also be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 to here, then an A wave and a B wave in 3, and then a C wave up here in the 5 waves, which it is, and then move down again. So if it takes the 24, 25 out here, we got to be short. Okay, that's step 1. Now I can't draw on this side of the price here, unfortunately, with my little segments here. But if this is 5 waves up, then this would be an A wave to here, a B wave back up, and then a C wave coming down onto the 24.30 here. So it's at that point that you can go long. But if I could just draw that out for a moment over this side, let's just say that this is the 24.30 here. Let's say that we've got 5 waves up here. We've got an A wave coming down. That's the first leg down here. And then we're looking for a B wave to come up here, and then the C wave to come down. Now, I just need to move that down here a little bit. So that's going to be the 24.30 here. So it could just bounce off the 30, which is the norm here. So then what you need to do, if we expect to move up through here, I reckon just draw a line through here. That would be, it would be the simplest possible way. And when you do get a trend line through here, you know that if a market's going to move up to it, it will react from it, then move through it, then come back and test it, and then move on here. It needs to migrate across that particular line, that border. So, yeah, all looking quite sort of good at this stage. And you can see here that we're breaching out of that particular thing. So, yeah, we're looking for a long trade here. So I can't even put a segment over there, but you get the idea of what we need to do there. And the Nasdaq is the same as well, so I don't need to go into that. So there we have it. We can go long from here now, or we can go short from here. It's as simple as that. If we do go long from here, try and get a better entry on here. The other little thing I could mention here too is that once this A, B and C is done in here, if I could just go into, let's just go into 5 ticks here. It's not that we're So, so first of all, this is our little 5 waves up here. If that, I can't draw past that. If that high there is breached, you need to go long. That's the main thing. So we're looking at this being an A wave and a B wave in here somewhere, and then a C wave down through here. If we get the C wave down here, then what you can also understand is this is 2431, so we'll call it 1, 2, and 3 here. Okay, so, and then we've got 5 here. So these are basically micro levels. So normally the 30 is a sub-level, 20 is a sub-level, so then we're going to the next degree down, which is the micro level. So we know that after this comes down through here and then moves back up here, that if you get support on top of this 3 here, the 2433, that micro level there, then you can go along from that point. Okay, so you might even want to buy sort of down here further as well. I'll leave that up to you. I'll just double check this as well here. So this is wave 1, 2 here, and then we'll look for the third wave up, which will be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for the third wave, ABC for the fourth and the fifth. Okay, that's fine, yeah. So, okay, there we have it. I'll leave it at that. Cheers.